Literally a matter of weeks until we are leaving 2025 and entering into 2026, and I really don't want to see you have to go through another year saying to yourself this is going to be your year, in the year feeling completely regretful. And I let the year go past and I made all of these promises to myself and didn't commit to them. We don't want to let another year go by where you're not taking action on yourself and ultimately you're not believing in yourself. In this video, I'm going to give you the exact blueprint we need in order to make 2026 the glow up year. A lot of the videos that you're going to see over the next coming weeks, especially going into 2026, is all going to be related to goal setting, glow up, make this year your biggest glow up, which is fine, but a lot of the things in those videos are going to be talking about creating a vision board, manifestation, taking all of this action towards yourself and going into the year 100 miles per hour and trying to do all of the things all at once, which only leads us to a few months down the line where we feel burnt out, exhausted, and looking back on the past few months feeling like we've failed again, which then reinforces this belief that we are somehow broken, and comparing ourselves to other people, we feel like we're never going to achieve the things that we ultimately want, the lifestyle that we want, the body that we want, the relationship with food we want, whatever it is. Know that that is absolutely within your grasp. But the thing is, we keep doing the same things and repeating the same behaviours, which is what's ultimately keeping us stuck. So if you want the ultimate glow up for this year in 2026, let's do something different so that all of the goals that we set at the beginning of the year we actually stick to are actually within the grasp of achieving them. Now the thing is, a lot of the time people think that it's there because a great big grasshopper just climbed on my window and I thought it was inside. A lot of the time people think that it's about taking all of the action. Okay, what do I need to do in order to achieve my goal? Which, yes, action has got a big part of that. However, we are missing the key fundamental part of this. The reason why you're not able to stick to anything long term, and even if you do achieve some of those goals, usually don't last, or we end up self-sabotaging in some way. The difference is you ultimately probably know what you should be doing in order to achieve your goal, but you're either not doing it, or when you are doing it, you're feeling really lethargic, flaky, and you're almost essentially like dragging your feet and you're like, oh God. Let's say, for example, you're wanting to be healthier or fitter or stronger and you're wanting to go to the gym. You might set yourself the goal of going 5 times a week, and you do that for a few weeks and very quickly burn yourself out, or you get bored, or you get distracted and do something different. We end up putting our energy into so many different places where we end up then spinning our wheels and we never actually achieve anything, or we just feel really demotivated. We feel like we're not making enough progress. And that is all down to our self-perception and identity, which is what I'm going to break down in this video. In order to glow up, we ultimately need to glow up from the inside out. People think that we need to do all of the things. I need to go to the gym. I need to eat healthy. Yes, that is part of it. However, the part that nobody really wants to look at is need to get clear on who it is that we need to become. We essentially need to divorce our old self. If we're wanting to glow up, and the bigger the transformation, the bigger we're going to have to literally let our old self go. Because ultimately what it comes down to is we cannot expect to achieve what we want here in the future to be a different version of ourselves with different external experiences, a different lifestyle, a different habits, whether it be career, body, your relationship with food. We cannot do that whilst still sitting in this current self-perception and identity. And that's what I'm going to break down in this video. Like I said, the problem isn't in the execution of taking the action. You know, or have an idea of what you should be doing. We're not doing it either consistently, or we've not got the right energy and we're not feeling inspired. We're not taking more action towards it. We might be doing things from a place of should, punishment, or fear, anxiety, not inspired action. We don't fully believe that we are worthy or are capable of achieving our goals, then we can take all of the action and not actually get to where we want to be, because the energy in which you are putting out to the universe, this isn't even woo-woo stuff, this is literally science. The difference in how you approach to take action will be completely different to how you view yourself, your self-perception, and the beliefs about yourself. Your belief that what you want is absolutely possible. You will not feel inspired, creative, and enthusiastic about going to the gym, let's say, or going out to meet people, go out on dates, or apply for new jobs if you don't fully believe that either what you want you are capable of getting, you feel deserving of that. Everything you do will be coming from a place of lack, fear, scarcity, or not enoughness. That is going to be mirrored back to you in whatever you do. So not be consistent. You won't get the results that you want, or you'll feel like you've got to keep doing as much as you can in order to get to where you want to be. This is where our mindset currently keeps us stuck, because we might be doing all of the things. We might be eating healthy or going on crazy diets, going to the gym. We're doing all of the things, but yet not getting to where we want to be. So the shift that needs to happen, the real glow up that needs to happen in order for us to achieve the ultimate glow up for 2026 and beyond, is in ourselves, our inner belief system, our inner self-perception and habits and behaviors. From that point, our identity, self-perception and beliefs about ourselves, what will dictate our habits and behaviors, and therefore our results and our energy towards what we attract in and out of our life. If you're new around here, hi, I'm Hetty. I'm a personal trainer, a women's confidence, food freedom and wellness coach. Honestly, I know this cycle all too well because I was stuck in it for so long. I would create all of these vision boards, set all of these goals, write out in my journal, really go all in on my goals right at the beginning of the year, only to then feel really regretful mid-year where I would look at my life and still be in the same predicament. Now, if you're anything like me, I honestly viewed myself as a very motivated and disciplined person. I would be very strict with myself with certain plans. Let's say going to the gym, I was so rigid with myself, so rigid with my food and my nutrition, doing all of these goals, but it wasn't down to my motivation or discipline. It wasn't down to that because I was and viewed myself as a motivated person. The problem was my belief system that it was actually possible for me, and the consistency in which I was taking action on my goals. I was doing all of the external stuff, I was taking all of the action, but I wasn't doing the deeper inner work that actually is the shift that creates the huge change in our life. It's not doing things on the outside. We think it's an external thing. We think, oh, well, if I just go to the gym and eat healthy, then I'll change. We'll either revert back and go to what we've always done. We'll self-sabotage, we'll overeat, and then start to spiral and then see that we're not capable of change, which absolutely isn't true, but they need to really work on our inner self first in order to create the big change. Now, you might have clicked on this video because in some way you feel a little bit stuck, unhappy even, maybe even regretful of how this year has gone. Maybe you're just desiring a whole new change and you're quite frankly sick of your own shit, staying stuck, staying in the same cycles over and over again. But the reason why you've not achieved your goals already is not because you're a failure, it's not because you're broken and there's no helping you. It's because right now your identity and self-perception and belief about yourself is holding you back and keeping you staying stuck in your current reality. And our self-perception and self-belief is made up of all of the things such as our habits, our behaviors, and our beliefs about ourselves, our daily thoughts, who we think we are. We always act in accordance to who we think we are. So we deeply believe that we are the unhealthy person, that we can't stick to anything long term, we can't control ourselves around food. You bet that's going to be our physical results. And self-perception and self-beliefs is all formed from our past experiences, and this could have gone back from like childhood, it could be a recent thing that's happened, or people that have told us certain things about ourselves. If you were told as a kid that you were a failure or you can't stick to anything, me personally, I got told that I was crazy around sugar and that I had such a big sweet tooth, and my mum at one point thought that I was addicted to chocolate. Even being told that as a child, that played havoc on my mind, so I would act in accordance to that because I would believe that about myself. So if past version of you has tried all of the things and you've done so much work on yourself already, maybe you've done all of the diets, you've tried all of the fitness workout plans, you maybe worked with a coach before, whatever, those things haven't worked or given you the results that you wanted, maybe you gave up or maybe you self-sabotaged, that then reinforces this whole belief that we can't stick to anything long term, that we are a failure, or maybe there is something wrong with us. This then builds this even deeper belief about ourselves that change isn't possible for us, which is absolutely not true. Change is possible for you. However, the more that we do the same thing, we're only going to keep repeating the same cycle. And from there, reinforcing that same belief that we are broken, something's wrong with us, we can't stick to anything, we can't achieve the thing that we want. And this is when people get in those stories that maybe I'm just not cut out for this, maybe I can't achieve the body that I want, relationship with food I want, the career, relationships, whatever it is. In order to create different results, we need to shift and change the narrative of what we're telling ourselves. If we have formed that identity of somebody that can't follow through on things, that she can't stick to things long term, if we want something different, we need to change the inner narrative and become the version of us that absolutely can achieve the things. Because otherwise, we're just going to keep staying stuck. We can do all of the things, take all of the action, but ultimately, all of this comes down to our inner world. So step one in creating your biggest glow up for 2026 is to get crystal clear on who it is that you are stepping into and what we need to leave behind. So from here, I want you to get crystal clear on who it is that you are stepping into. Who is it? What's the vision? What's the goal that you are wanting to call in? Are you wanting to be healthier? Are you wanting to be more confident in your body, more healthy, have healthier habits in yourself, or have a relationship with food that feels free, light, playful, calm and relaxed? We need to get crystal clear on who that is. Literally create this on a page, write this down on a page, and then list out all of the attributes of that person, of that vision. If it's a career goal, write down all of the attributes of what that person looks, feels like, what are they doing each day. And in order to start bringing that into your current reality and start actually taking the action that's going to give you the momentum and give you the results, we need to step into that version of us now. We need to become her now. We need to literally embody her. Act and walk around like we are her right this second. Because literally, if you are taking the action but you are coming from a place of, oh, this is my third diet that I'm trying, going to the gym, oh, I just feel gross in myself, you are literally keeping yourself stuck in that current identity. We need to be, even if being her now, the healthy, fit, strong, balanced version of you, if that feels too far out right now, even just bridging the gap slightly and telling yourself, okay, I'm becoming her, rather than literally staying stuck in this current reality and this current identity and self-perception. We need to literally divorce that old self. Say to ourselves, yes, I'm taking action because I'm becoming her. So when I say divorce that old self or your current self, I want you to literally let all of the habits, beliefs, thought processes about your current self, let that shit go. We need to fully divorce that old self in order to step into this new version of you. Otherwise, we are just going to keep staying stuck. And if you're telling yourself, I'm a failure, I never stick to anything, I'm addicted to food, I can't stop eating, you are literally only keeping yourself stuck in your current version of reality. And I know this is hard to hear because sometimes it feels that way, and I totally get it, because there was a point for me, if you're new to my channel, I was stuck in disordered eating habits. I used to compulsively overeat and binge eat to the point of feeling so incredibly sick and shameful about myself that I literally, it felt like this was who I was. I felt like I could never get rid of this. But I started to shift my thinking in a way that started to give myself the idea that I was somebody who used to struggle with binge eating, even if it didn't feel real for me at the moment. But I ultimately understood that in order for me to be the person that no longer did this with food and had this chaotic relationship with food, I needed to let this self go and become the version of me that I wanted to be. I needed to be her in order to create those results. If I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't be sat here talking to you right now. I wouldn't be doing the work that I do with my clients. I had to literally let it go in order to become this newer version of me. The first stage of this glow up for 2026 and the rest of your life is ultimately letting the inner dialogue, the stuff that no longer serves us, that is keeping us stuck in our current space, identity and reality. Part of letting our old self go is also letting go of things like our habits and behaviors. So step 2 is going to involve writing down a long list of the habits and behaviors that you currently have that are keeping you stuck. We need to literally let all of those habits and behaviors go and literally see in front of our eyes that all of these habits and behaviors are literally giving us our current results. So in order to create the new results, we need to change our habits and behaviors. If you're thinking, oh my God, I don't even know where to start with any of this, then I'm doing a 4-step process on the ultimate glow up. So I will leave the details down in the description box below, where I'm going to break everything down step by step so that you know exactly how to shed your old identity into the new one, break all of the habits and behaviors that are currently keeping you stuck. So sign up below, it'll be in the description box. Now, step 3 is kind of ties in with step number 1, getting more clarity and direction on feeling that we are trying to create and step into. So what does your glow up actually involve? Where are we glowing up? Is it a physical appearance thing? Are you wanting to create new relationships in your life or a new change in your habits with food? We need to get crystal clear on what that looks like and how we want to feel ultimately, which is going to help us gain even more clarity on the things that we need to include and we need to work on in order to achieve it. And then from there, we're going to need to create an action plan. So obviously action is absolutely a key part of this. However, notice that this is step number 3 and step number 4, because it's not the first thing that needs to change. We need to change our inner world before we do anything else. And this is all a process. It doesn't happen all at once. But when we start embodying and becoming, changing our habits and behaviors, our self-perception and identity, we then build the momentum and we gain inspired action. That's when we do feel inspired to try a new workout class, or we feel inspired to message somebody. Start taking action towards our goals. Don't fall into this trap of I'll do it next week, or I'll do it when I feel ready, or I'll do it when I feel a bit more confident. No, that's an old belief. We need to step into that version of us now. She takes the action. So what is one small step that you can take this week or today in order to take you towards that version of you that we are calling in and becoming the glow up version of you? What's the first step? Because ultimately that future version of you is here. Our current reality is here, so we need to bridge the gap, and we need to do that by taking small steps towards her, which, by the way, you are already her. We're not becoming anybody. We are literally just taking elements of ourselves, past beliefs, past behaviors that are no longer serving us. Now, this part, please don't overthink it. It really doesn't need to be a big monumental step. It could literally be researching something online. It could be buying some new trainers to go out running. It could messaging a friend. It could be doing some research, signing up to a new gym class, whatever that means for you. It could even just be eating a few more vegetables today and drinking some more water. Don't underestimate the power of small steps and small positive momentum, because this really sets the runway of what is to come. It's like a snowball or an avalanche. If you roll a snowball downhill, that's going to pick up speed, it's going to build momentum, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, which is essentially what's going to happen here. We're just going to keep on taking that action, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I say this all the time to my clients. They probably get sick and tired of me saying this, but consistency over perfection always. Perfection does not exist. This is where we need to ultimately ground and keep our mindset firm and consistent. Is if we start comparing ourselves to other people, if we start thinking, oh my God, it's not happening quick enough. And then all of the doubt creeps in. Then we go back to our old self. That's when we go back to the binge eating. That's when we go back to self-sabotaging. We really need to ground our mindset. And this is why so much of the work that I do with my clients is rooted in mindset. It's rooted in becoming that version of you that has the thing. Because ultimately, if we don't do this work, we are just going to keep spiraling. We're going to keep self-sabotaging. And this is ultimately what keeps so many people stuck. When they're not seeing the results, or when they start feeling scared, they feel doubtful, they worried, or all of those old beliefs start coming up to the surface, it pulls us back into our old identity and then stay stuck, which again then reinforces the same belief that we can't stick to anything long term, that this is never going to work out. Can you see the pattern here? And I speak from so much experience because it took me so long to get out of this, but once I understood it, and it's not difficult, it takes implementation and consistent action and mindset work and identity work that is the game changer. You can absolutely achieve the glow up goal, vision, what you are wanting to achieve. The only difference is we need to let our current version of ourselves go. Without that, nothing is going to be possible. Once we start taking action towards our goals, we build that positive momentum towards that vision of us, which then reinforces in our brain that we are taking that action, we are becoming her, and we get more and more excited. When your brain gets excited, we build more momentum towards it. So we want to really take, no matter how small the step seems, keep taking action in line with that goal. Our actions and behaviors start marrying up with the self-perception and self-identity that we're becoming. As all of our habits and behaviors start aligning with that version of us, which then is when our beliefs and our identity starts to change, because the brain is actually seeing evidence of us taking the action and us becoming that version of us. This is really where the powerful mindset work is. And 4-step glow up process is going to walk you through all of this. So I definitely recommend diving into that if you really want to work on that identity shift so that the glow up becomes inevitable, the change becomes inevitable. Because without this, we will just keep repeating the same cycle. When we start taking that forward momentum, our identity and self-perception starts changing. We start seeing ourselves differently. And that's when the change becomes more and more apparent. We start breaking old habits that have literally kept us stuck for so long. We literally change who we are. We literally shed away the old version of us that has, even if you've been stuck in that cycle for so long, again, speak from experience here, when I was struggling with food, that was all that I'd known. My whole life revolved around my struggle with food and my weight, and I couldn't see a different version of me until I started to do this work. This is really where the transformation happens, and I can't emphasize this enough, where people stay so stuck and stay in the same habits, stay in the same results, killing their dreams and killing their happiness. It's keeping them stuck. And we can get to a new result, but we have to be committed to doing this work. We can't just keep taking the action. If that worked, probably would have got to where you want to be by now. Shift needs to happen internally first. So if you are really, really serious about blowing up for this new year and for the rest of your life, it's not even just for a new year, but ultimately change your life and glow up from the inside out. If you're serious about doing that, I highly recommend you sign up for the 4-step process, Ultimate Glow Up. I will leave all the details down in the description box below. I hope you've enjoyed this video as well, and feel free to comment below anything that you are working on. What are your goals and things that you're calling in this year? What are you trying to create? What are you trying to let go of stepping into this year? Feel free to comment below, like this video if you like this video, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'll leave all my other details down in the description box below. I hope to see you in the next one.